door to her mum's room had always been troublesome, and as Jane turned the handle, she gave the door a well-practiced nudge with her shoulder. She didn't need to enter to see that the room was empty, not only of crazed assailants, but of furniture too. The window blind was rolled up, inviting sunlight to play across the newly laid cream carpet that had yet to be marked by furniture or slippered feet. Above the scent of fresh paint, she was convinced she could still detect the faintest hint of the lavender and chamomile candle that had burned in her mum's final days. Jane had been willing to try anything to ease her mum's passing. An image of 74-year-old Cynthia Simpkin, lying helpless in bed, forced its way unbidden into Jane's consciousness. When her mum had suffered a sudden and catastrophic stroke at the beginning of February, Jane had abandoned her husband in Buxton to return home to the Wirral. For 2 months, Cynthia had lingered in the shadows between life and death. And on the rare occasions when she had been lucid, she had been gripped with a torturous mixture of fear and hopelessness that chimed against the fiercely independent and protective mother Jane had known. As Jane pushed the memory away, she scooped up Benji before he could enter the room. "Your mum's not here," she whispered into his fur. "She's gone." The only place left to check was the attic, access from the landing through a door and narrow staircase. It was the one room that Jane was yet to touch, much to Phil's frustration. Her husband didn't understand why it was taking her so long to put the house on the market. As Jane crept up the stairs, she placed her foot carefully on the 3rd step to avoid the creak, but there was little she could do to disguise her laboured breaths. Reaching the top, she tensed in preparation to defend herself. But no attack came. With limited headspace in the roof, the attic room was relatively small compared to the rest of the house, and the light from the single window was sufficient to reveal several generations' worth of clutter, but no intruder. Stretching her spine, Jane waited for her pulse to slow. Her exertions had caused sweat to prick her brow, but it wasn't as bad as the cloying discomfort of a hot flush. She puffed out her cheeks and released a sigh. It was entirely possible that she hadn't closed the French doors properly. She knew from years spent renovating her little house in Buxton that older properties had a biorhythm all of their own. They breathed in and out, stairs creaked, pipes groaned, and occasionally doors sighed open. Satisfied with this explanation, Jane's footsteps were lighter and more confident as she returned downstairs. Kicking off her sliders, she stored them away in the cupboard under the stairs along with Benji's leash. She hadn't thought to check this hiding space during her search, and her skin crawled as she imagined an arm with a full sleeve of tattoos reaching out to grab her wrist. She slammed the door shut and was about to chastise herself for overreacting when she noticed Benji sniffing out an invisible trail back to the sitting room. He remained on alert. "For goodness sake," she muttered under her breath, but she followed him nevertheless. After double-checking that the locks on the French doors were indeed engaged and secure, Jane rested her hands on her hips and surveyed the room one more time. The cushions on the sofa remained plumped. The cashmere throw lying across the motorized recliner was exactly where she had left it, and the charger for her laptop trailed haphazardly from a socket. Earlier that morning, Jane had been scouring the internet for planting schemes for her mum's garden. Unlike the modernized house, the back of the property had been left languishing since the 70s, and tidying it up had been a form of escape for Jane while nursing her mum. Phil thought she had done enough, but Jane couldn't bear the idea of an estate agent posting photos of the family home looking anything but its absolute best. And the garden bothered her. There was still so much to do, and she wouldn't rest until she had created a legacy befitting her mum. Reminded of this much-needed sense of purpose, Jane took a deep, cleansing breath, only to